There is a place as the light begins to fade. Ember ran, because standing still made them feel helpless. The wall glistened. Ember felt so afraid that it was a relief to find someone to talk to. Ember froze when they noticed a small satchel. The satchel felt heavy. The statue shone brightly in the light. Ember noticed something wrong. There was a round space where something used to fit. To Ember's delight, the golden statue slid perfectly into place. Ember left, feeling sorry for the stranger. The stairway opened into a dark forest. Ember could feel fear taking over. They'd washed up alone, somewhere very unfamiliar. Ember felt like they were being watched. As Ember approached, the flames seemed to... The caged flame stoked new hope in Ember. Hope was almost within reach. The flame spoke and Ember listened. The flame lingered ahead. Was it trying to escape? Or leading the way? The stranger had been forgotten. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. The stranger had blazed their own path, created their own rock, their own islands. They did not need Ember's kindness. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The crow held its shining trophy tight. The stranger shivered in the cold. They'd moved through such dark places. They lay down and closed their eyes. Warmth was a distant memory, stolen by the passing miles. The stranger blinked at Ember. Is it morning already? How long have I been asleep? The ghost's eye will warm them. Ember looked to the ghost for answers. This is to travel through, but none have the Forest King, and those who linger will turn again that word, forlorn. The forlorner though, if you find them, send them to me and I will guide them. I am just so many lost embers have Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left be the path ahead. Know that if you return, you will always be welcome. Little one, the path to I will guide others to follow after you clear the way. There are others. You will always be welcome here in the forest. Once again, Ember could feel eyes watching. The guard showed, and with a bag, both guards started looking at Ember. The guard leered. Yes, come a little closer. Let us see. We guard the... Oh yes, we decide who gets to see the king. The Forest King. Yes, yes, come this way. A feeling of foreboding overcame Ember. Ember was terrified but tried not. The giant's bird. Do not fear. The bird. Ember wanted to feel safe. Oh, little birds will take her. Stay safe. Ember was still afraid. Is it the night that scares you, little one? Birds will make the world less. It wasn't only the night that frightened Ember. The bird grew, trying, and birds will protect you from the Forest King. Perhaps they could rest. It was hard to know what else to say. Clever little, you will stay. Search for hope no more. Now take this feather. Feather me. Birds keep little. Birds should never leave the nest. The guard seemed, I can hold that. Leave him alone. Yeah, one of us. And we all shares bags and things. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any... Nothing down there. Go see the Forest King. He'll set you straight. Got your first... Stand watch here. Promise you won't let anyone pass. Ember didn't like deceiving the birds. But what choice did they have? Ember hurried away from the birds. The mist hung close to Ember, hiding them. The Forest King seemed frightened. The birds cruel. Ember would rather risk turning forlorn than become like them. It looked like a map with pieces. It was the same place as before. But how? An eerie scene, like a moment frozen in time. Gradually, more of the map was revealed. A section of bridge had somehow been ripped from its foundation. It was like the map had been broken on purpose. The mist revealed a secret place. Was it hidden on purpose? The statue spoke. The instrument used another before you took great effort to hide it deep within this riddle. The lanthorn began to glow. There was one last place to reach on the map. Ember felt a great relief to be out of the mist. Ember didn't mind getting muddy. The slide was such fun. The fruit was giving off a sickly sweet smell. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. hideous odor filled the air. And suddenly, the reason was obvious. The pig inhaled a giant snort of air. Wait, Ember shuffled and other embers fed, but then stopped. You feed me now. As the pig chewed, a light grew in its belly. Surprising. A little, but what I want is something more fruity. The pig would eat anything. Ember just needed to find more. And with each thing it ate, the light grew even brighter. Fruity, fresh, but what I want is something with more crunch. Perhaps if Ember could satisfy the pig, they might be more helpful. The skull was disgusting. Perhaps the pig would like it. The stranger puzzled over their journey. Some steps felt effortless. Twisted by unseen. Gratefully, the stranger said, "Friend, thank you. We all help each other along the path." The stranger had come so very far. They felt the air beneath them, the distance ever widening. It was such a long way down. A resolve stirred within the stranger. Just a few more steps. It can't be much further. This was the last thing Ember could find to offer. Crunchy. But what I want, the pig's stomach made an almighty sound. Ember chuckled with relief at the large creature they had been. The pig had vanished, but something moved beneath the surface. In a muddy pond, Ember thought the pig Join me, morsel! The pig seemed happy, but Ember, why do I need some true nourishment, but so much cooler in this muddy pond, I can finally think. Thank you, morsel. Ember thought about the pig. Fed to bursting. The stranger was afraid. They couldn't see what lay ahead. Ember saw their own fear reflected in the stranger. The darkness hungered for them all. Little Ember spoke hesitantly. How do you continue, never knowing if we'll reach the end? The stranger couldn't take on more. The strangers stretched their limbs. Perhaps it is not too late after all. Ember came upon another campfire lost in the wilderness. It looked long cold, but ready to be lit. The ghosts, I will warm them. Ember looked to the ghost for answers. This is the here hope was. You must not lose hope. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. The path ahead, know that if you return, you will always be welcome. You have done well. I will clear the path ahead for you. You have seen, they know the secrets of this place. Seek them out. Well now. Fun. Hope you have a good. Ember's heart sank. But try to think of an excuse. Save your... Oh, yes. Tell the lies to the king. Ember felt nervous standing before the king. Frustrated, you must rest now. You give false, try and fail, and Ember could feel the Forest King looking. This end, why not stop? You must last chance. Make sure gates are locked. Let no more in. Ember took the key. What choice did they have? Yeah, don't betray the Forest King again. The crossroads gate was locked. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. Eagerly, Ember left the birds behind, glad to be free. Ember was at the edge. The smell of like it had once been flooded, but now was bone dry. Excitedly, the stranger said, "Friend, together we can. I've got a plan. Been waiting. You help me, and I'll help you. Try lowering the crab over here with the chum in that bucket. The bellows breathed life into the fire beneath the boiler. Oh, I think there's one more of those valve things. I hope we don't get in trouble for this. What a satisfying rush the dam waters burst. Ember really did hope they wouldn't be in trouble. With everything flooded again, Ember wondered if now they could reach the entrance of the cave. Freed from the mud, the boat looked inviting. The boat was a perfect fit for Ember. It felt like they... The passageway was dark and eerily silent. Ember wondered why the dam had been blocked. As the gate opened, what was the gate keeping locked away? Embo had found another unlit campfire at the heart of the cave. A shadow moved in the distance. Ember hoped that it was a trick of the light. The stranger had misplaced a memory. He tried to remember, but found more voids. Only the shape of the thought remained. The stranger looked around fearfully. I stayed in the nest too long. The stranger was wary, coiled and tense. The dark had gifted them friends in the past. The dark had stolen much more. Would this new light do the same? The stranger whispered, "I'm so tired. Do you know the way?" creature's body slithered between the rocks, seeming to never end. The stranger was tired of pretending. They'd never have made it on their own. Fortune had always favored them. Had they deserved to make it this far? The stranger spoke simply. Thank you. Terror gripped Ember suddenly. Fear overwhelmed them. Splintered, they sat for a moment. Perhaps the Forest King was right. There was no hope here. A discarded builder robot. The poor thing was rusted in. The builder's thoughts were stuck in a loop. Turning slowly to rust, only the echoes for company. Disconnected gears in their head turning round and round. Each unshared moment went the same. Lost and uncared for was a dim glow. Who's there? It's dark. Keep talking to me, please. Aye. It's been so long since I've talked to anyone. I can... And outside, it's okay if you don't. But it would be so nice to see what you look... It was wonderful. Don't forget me, please. The others never came back. builder took a moment. So that's what you look. I don't know what I expected, but sorry. It's just been so. I've never been. You seem different. Wait, how did you get here? Oh, that's unfortunate. You'll be stuck here. Builders seem to have. Maybe I can help you. This is so exciting. It's been so long since I made some. Ember watched in amazement. Could I get your input for a moment? The scraps of broken wood and metal were being transformed. Could I get your input for a moment? Whatever the builder was making was nearly ready. Sorry, it's a bit rough around the edges. It's, definitely seaworthy. You hate it, don't? Ember stood in stunned silence. That is such relief. Really warms my pistons. I'm so happy. Oh, I'm not. Oh, that truly, I would have. But if you see any others, Ember would come back if they could. Perhaps the builder just needed more time. The boat was a little unconventional, but Ember already loved it. A tremendous, terrifying shape slithered from the shadows. The snake's body coiled around the forlorn like a scaly shield. The stranger was so lost. Curling and coiling, lost forever. The stranger looked at Ember with relief. I tried to go back, but I just went nowhere. Time to go. The ghosts, I will warn them. Ember looked to the ghost for answers. This is the fear would not, you must not lose hope. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. The path ahead, know that if you return, you will always be welcome. Your journey, you have cleared, I will guide them after you have gone. Only the ask them your. Know that if you return here, you will always be welcome. The taste of fresh air was welcoming as Ember left the caves behind. Something was wrong. Ember could feel it. It was quiet. All the birds. Chains and pulleys in the base of the chair. Didn't feel real. The Forest King wasn't real. Broken boats were scattered on the water. In the clearing, Ember hoped to find answers. Behind the Forest King's puppetry, the stranger spoke. Don't you see? What hope can there be in that? The stranger had Ember knew they spoke the truth. The path goes no slipping beyond. In the end, what have I done? Slowly, the stranger withdrew. I wanted to be. How do you save others once your light has gone out? The wanderer's thoughts had become twisted. Hiding every day behind a mask. Watching hopeful little ones arrive endlessly. Knowing the empty path that lay ahead. Inside their dim light was a hidden pain. They had watched those they care for turn forlorn. They had locked their hope away, tried to protect it. and Ember's actions had seemed a distorted mirror. The Wanderer searched for words. When I reached, "This is all," how do you face that? "I'm not ready." I turned back, built a little. You hope, you try, you fail, and then nothing more. I thought I was, but without an end. They lost hope anyway. The Wanderer took a breath. I thought it would lead somewhere. Mean, Ember paused. So many places, so many others whose paths had crossed their own. After everything, only my boat. Finish your journey. Leave this place. Ember knew the end. Were they any more ready than the Wanderer? There is a place where the lost embers go as their light begins to fade.